Hello, this is Steve. It's November 17th, 2020. I want to do an update of the spreadsheet for the Stat Squad. Here's a little summary I put together. I want to show you how to pull your data from Ninja 7 and 8 and how to upload it into the spreadsheet. Then I'll just do a quick brief overview of the components of the spreadsheet. And then I'll show you a candlestick chart of do an autopsy of it. I call it an autopsy of a trade, and we can break that down and show you what the chart will show you on your particular trade or the bot's particular trade, and then we'll do a final analysis of the bot trades from November 1st to the 16th, which was yesterday. Okay, so let's, without further ado, let me get rid of that. First off, let's start with, don't want that, yeah. So go to New, and you want to pull up Trade Performance. And from there, I don't look at these numbers. From there, we want to go to Trades once you're in there. And these are all your trades from within Ninja. This is 8, by the way. So you can right-click on these columns and decide which trades you want. But I would just leave them all. You could turn some off. I did in the past, like bars and things I don't use. You could turn those off. But the more important things that, if you have the information and the spreadsheet doesn't need it, it won't be a problem. It just won't take it. If it needs some information and you don't have it, it's just going to leave blank. So if you were to take off your entry price, or exit price, or any one of those, quantity or long or short, if you didn't have that information, then it's not going to be able to calculate. So the most important thing we need, obviously, is your account. And actually, an account technically isn't needed if you want to just play around in Sim, because it will just default to paper trade or undocumented. But if you want to know which chart, you really need to have this broken down, these strategies, and I'll show you how to do that later too. But if you want to know your settings for each individual chart and each individual market, you need to be able to break that down. So needless to say, you're going to need some of this data. More importantly, for your autopsy, you're going to need the maximum excursion, favorable, and ETD, and we'll get into that later once I show you the autopsy of a candlestick chart of your particular trade. So in any event, that's what you're going to need. So in here, so I'm going to pull yesterday's data in, which was the 16th. And I've been leaving these, with the exception, I guess, Monday night or something. There's been a couple nights. But for the most part, I've been trying to leave these on 24/7. And in order to get a bot true individual analysis, you really need to not manipulate it. You don't. It's on Sim, and so therefore, it's not pulling in historical data. It's pulling in actual data. And if you manipulate the trades and get them shorter because you can't handle the heat, or pull up the targets, then it's not really giving you a true picture. So in order to give you a true picture, you just have to let it go. And we're going to let the spreadsheet analysis decide what markets, times, and things like that, and chart settings are going to be for us. So in any event, I'm going to go in here and open this up. And this is yesterday. And you can stretch this down. I think you have to click Show Tabs to get that. But you'll be able to open this up, and you could see how I have all the templates and all that open. Now, if you could unselect something, if you just want to pull in Sim, or if you just want to evaluate 60 or something like that. But I'm going to pull it all in because I'm going to let the spreadsheet, we'll filter that there. So I'm going to get this as yesterday only. So I'm going to say, so it's generated. It's already in here, actually. I already did that. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to export, and it's going to pull up, and I'm just going to label this just for my own peace of mind. This is the 16th, so 11/16, midnight, and let it do that. Okay, so here's how the data looks in Excel for Windows 8. And I guess I can close that. Yeah, say that. Really, all I did is change the bracket size there. Okay. And so here, and I'm done with that. So here is the spreadsheet. And let me, you know what, let me pause here real quick and pull up Ninja 7, and we'll do the same thing there. That way, if you're not interested in any one particular topic, you could just zoom ahead. Okay, so here is Ninja 7. And I probably don't have a lot of data in here. Let's just open it up. First, where's the first? Here's all of generate this. So I do have some data in here. Okay, so once you've got your data in here for the given day, I'll just make sure yesterday's. I don't know what date this is. Let's look. Trades. Trade probably the 5th. So let's just narrow it down to the 5th. Generate. Okay, so it's under the trade tab. And again, it's the same information. Again, I'm going to right click. No, in this case, the 7 has got to go to grid. So right click grid and export to Excel. And then it pulls in the data. And I don't know if it automatically saved it. No, it did not. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. And let's see if it's saved. I don't know. Or just save as. I'll put it in my downloads folder. Beware. Uh-oh. What's going on here? It'll take a while. All right, downloads. And I'm going to call this the 5th. I'm going to call this NT7. There you go. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I can get rid of that now. All right, so back to where we are. So here is the spreadsheet, and I'll give you a quick overview of the components, and then we'll go into the interview. So you have multiple sheets down here. You got summary. I don't really want to get into each and every one of these, but you know, just summary of the year. Here's the autopsy candlestick thing. There's the day sheet. This is our main sheet that we're probably going to be on. Don't worry about these numbers. I got to play around with those just yet. That's just it was working, but now I got some data in here, and I've changed some rows and pull in different things. So I just got to update that a little bit. But anyways, and then January, February, March. Now I've updated some stuff in October. I've got some stuff in November. Obviously, December's not here. If you want to pull a printed report out, you can just select a particular date that you want to put in here and hit report, and it will just fit it in here in a nice size chart for you to actually print out, nice and neat. And you could print it out and view it that way if you want. I don't do that. It's a waste of paper. I just look at it online. Trade management. I should probably talk about this. This is what is really needed to identify your settings. And I've got it labeled with a particular code here. And I just, basically go down the row. And so if you were going to start a new setting, let's say you would label it 21, and it's going to be on, I don't know, 6B. I'll just say something crazy. So that pulls up that code automatically. Oops. And so you want to put in here, you want to label it. This is TTP, if we're going to use those bots. And it's 6E, and it's a, 15 minute, and your settings are 821, and you got a filter on there of 177. I'm just making this stuff up. And 233 tick. I'm just copying from above, obviously. Your ATR setting is 5, and you got a 1 and a 5 minute filter on it, and your targets are at 075 and 2.0. And let's say I got 2 contracts. You're not going to use a strategy, other than I take that back. We are going to use a strategy. Like I've been doing 2 contracts and 1-on-1. So that's how you can. Now, if you want to do the same thing, but you want to try a different strategy, 3 contracts, then again, same thing. You want to do 6B, get a new code, and come here, same settings, assuming you're going to do that. But this time you're going to do 3, and I got to make 3, I guess. I think I have 3 in here. What is it, 3 contracts, and then I think it's 2 and 1. I think the settings are, or you could change them, but whatever it is, you just got to document it. I'm not using the discipline manager on here because I want it to. I don't want it to manipulate. I want it to go ahead and run. It's on sim, and I'm just pulling data, good, bad, or ugly. Any notes that you want to put in here. Okay, so that's how you would create your your trade management. So that way, when you go look at the stats, you can see what it actually is. And in this case, I think I'm just going to delete it because it's fictionary. So I'll just leave that there. Anyway, drawdown, I don't want to get into that right now. Goals, graphs, I won't get into that. Markets, these are all your typical markets. I have all these that in the past. You've got your tick size and values, your fees, depending on your account. Different accounts have different fee structures. So we can go into that at a later date. Not getting into that. Price limits for circuit breakers. Don't need to get into that. Stats don't need. Anyway, so for this particular case, we're just going to talk about the trades and what they've done, because I could make this really long trying to understand all this. Okay, so importing your data. Now, I've already imported all that November data to the other day, but I just downloaded yesterday. So we're going to go to macro. It's in 8. I'll just a little slower. So go to macro, import from into 8. Now I have 7, 8. Now we did the 7. I'm not going to import that data, but you saw how to pull it. But it just if you want to do that. So I'm going to do 8. I don't have the code for trade viewing because I don't use that, and so I don't have the data. And the same thing with TD. I have an account there. I probably could do that one, but then I can just keep adding, AMP or Sierra charts or whatever. I can just keep adding. But in order to do that, I don't have Sierra charts, and I would need to have the output format in order to make it match up. So in any event, let's just use 8. So here's that 8, and here's that one that I pulled from yesterday's data. So I'm going to let this do its thing. It's going to pull the data in from that spreadsheet that we had. And I guess I could just pause it here for a minute. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, it's going to show what it's percolating. It formats it, it pulls it in, and frankly, I don't know why it's taking so long, because it shouldn't. But I see my little circle here. I've got like 20 charts on right now, and it's 6:30 in the morning Central. Okay, well, let me pause for a minute. Well, of course, as soon as I pause, it's coming in. So now in the bottom left-hand corner, you're going to see 98 of 228. And it's just pulling that in. It's just formatting and it's grading it. And so actually, I think I will pause because it's just taking another minute. Okay, so I'm back. So it imported correctly. It formatted everything, put everything in date order. And so now we're going to break it down. So I don't know how familiar you are with the filters, but I am going to, one other thing I guess I didn't do at the day sheet is go through it. So all this white part here is the data that we're going to be pulling in and using for analysis. Over here is this is your P&Ls, and here's data only, and that's the one we're going to be concentrating on. And this all over here is just data that it pulls in from different import areas, like tick values, tick size based on the particular trade, pulls up the fees based on the particular account and trade and market, etc. Shows you your max ticks move and intraday max, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Some of the stuff, the max points is converted into, because right now with the maximum excursion and favorable and ETD, Ninja pulls in the dollar amount, but sometimes you want to see what the point spread is, and sometimes you want to see what the tick value is based on a particular chart. So if you wanted to see that, you could see the values here based on ticks if you're looking at that. So it just makes it easy converted for you. So first and foremost, I've got my filters on, and I only am interested in bots. So I'm going to leave the bots on. I'll leave my heading on, my row 2 here, which is, I need to have that. Blanks, it doesn't matter. I don't really care. I just leave them on. Okay, so now I filter down only to bots. And obviously you see the bots now is filtering the account. It's only on data. So the only one we're going to be looking at is the AF column, the net, by the way, because I have Ninja pull in commissions. And you could set yours up too. I think I got a video on that if you need to learn how to set up your commissions. But anyway, so here's bots. So now we need to do some analysis. So where to begin? let's start. Well, we'll leave the days open, and let's just start with a particular market. Let's start at the top, I guess, 6E. And I'm going to, again, leave my market. This is the second row. I can't move this right now. But if you notice MRK, it's this right here. It's this column C2. That's the heading column. And we need to have that column because we need these numbers. So in any event, negative 145. And I'm just going to go through this quickly. But there's a little bit more deeper things we need to do. But anyway, I just want to go through this quickly. Here's CL. Now, again, this is the first half of November. Through the 15th or 16th, I should say. So what do we got? CL 663. And again, this could be more, could be less. And I told you I left these things open or on all the time. So if you notice, it's 3:42, 8 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. So if we started looking at this a little deeper, we're going to, filter some of that out. And obviously, you don't want to use them. But quickly enough, ES, $291. Again, 2 contracts, just 1 and 2 with the ATR. We can show the settings, gold. Now, gold I have multiple charts on, so this really should be, needs to be broken down a little bit more. But I'm going to do that with NASDAQ with you only because there's a lot more data in there. So gold, here's micro NASDAQ, 123, and it didn't really do much. Too small, I guess, maybe. I don't know. NG. $22. Now look, 22 in a month, not a lot of trades. Well, to be fair, I don't think I turned this one on. This is more of a recent one. So NQ. Oh, NQ is going to be a big number. And you know what? Let's come back to that one. And don't get fooled by that number. Okay, so RTY. I know Bob doesn't trade that one, but I could see why possibly without doing the big deeper analysis. $400 to the negative, and it's traded quite a bit. Just not a lot of this. Bob's already done himself, and with his theories and procedures, and he's ruled them out. So I'm basically just starting to go on my own charts and pick up where he left off, just so for my analysis purposes. Okay, so all right, so there's silver. Let's go back to the NQ. I'm going to go a little deeper in this one. Okay, so $3,500, and that looks kind of bad, but let's break it out. So let's first and foremost, let's pull out some time. So we're going to filter. So let's just do normal time. So we're going to leave these open, and we're going to take off, let's say, that right there. We're going to take off these and get rid of all these PM stuff. We can come back to it later, but there's our heading, so many hours you put into it on average. See right there, it calculates how many hours you have involved in there. So if you're looking at an hourly rate for your goal, which I do, I'm like, hey, I want $35 an hour, or whatever hour your rate is, $25 an hour. It'll calculate how much you should be making for your goal. In any event, that's sidetracked there. So this is now $833, and by the way, I have this small just so you don't have to scroll back. I'm at 60% right here. If you want to beef that up a little bit and go to 90, it'd probably be a little easier to read. But now you're dealing with this, and that drives me nuts. I can't do that. So hopefully you can see this on the video, but if not, just let me know in the comments for future ones, and I'll have to deal with the scrolling back and forth. But in any event, so you could see here it's a negative 833. So let's again dive into that because that doesn't seem right. If you notice, I've got different trade managements and I have different charts. So let's go see and break those down a little bit deeper. So let's start with 003 and let's see what that did. Okay, negative 134. What is 003? So let's go to trade management. 003 is a 3-minute chart with those particular settings. You can pause it if you want to see them. And this is only in the morning. And this is, why is this just pulling in the 16th? Because I know I got, oh, I know why. I know why. I know what I'm doing. I'm only on day sheet. You know what? Let's well, let's continue with this, and then I'll go to November. I'm not pulling in real data. I'm pulling in just yesterday because remember we didn't. I just imported it. I didn't transfer it to November. So let's do that. So since I'm in this process, let's just look at yesterday a little deeper. So this was yesterday's trades, and they are what they are. If you want to kind of go deeper in it, we can do that. But let's see what 6 is. What is 6 again? Well, that's negative 251. I can tell you which one this one's going to be. The one I keep saying I'm going to turn off. 6 is a 15-minute chart. I know Bob likes that one, but I have a problem with that one. One, I just can't handle the heat. And I mean, look at this. One trade went against you yesterday, and it went full negative inversion, maximum inversion. Too much for me. In any event, to be all fairy, we really have to look at all the data when we go into November, and we'll do the same thing. But let's find out what the 9 is. 9 is $1,400 to the positive. Okay, well that looks like it's good. What is 9? Here you go. Now that's surprisingly enough. That was yesterday. It had a good day. That's a 20 range chart. But to be honest with you, we need to put more data because let's keep that in mind because when we go to November with all the data, I'm almost convinced that's going to be negative to the point where I'm going to turn that off. But in any event, that's just for one day. So let me clear this data. Let me clear all these filters. Okay, so that's the data. And well, here I guess we can go into one too. Let's go into the candles since we're here. Okay, so now that I got my data, I got to refresh it. And this is what I call the autopsy here. Let me pull in. Gold. Short my chrome and Q. 3 minutes. Market's starting to pick up. Okay, so here's your autopsy. This is in particular trades. These are your trades or the bot's trades, and that's regardless of who did them. But these are each individual trade. Just to give you a quick recap, we could go look in November if we want to pull up all bigger data. But right now I'm just working on that day sheets of yesterday. Pulled up the gold. We'll go through each one of them. You could skip ahead if you're not interested. I'm in the process right now of filtering the management, time, rules, things like that, so we could filter down to each individual one. But anyway, here's your legend. If it's long and it's a win, it's green. If it's short and it's a win, it's red. And orange, regardless of what direction, is bad. So obviously, if it's going down, that means it was a long and it went against us. And obviously, if it's a short and it went up, it's an orange too. But needless to say, orange is bad. You don't want a lot of orange. And there's your gold for the day. Now, if you notice on some of these, and my most important thing, and I will, let me blow this up just a little bit, just so you can kind of see it. I'll deal with my scrolling. I don't know if you can see it or not, but look at this one here. This ETD, the extended. So this extended is from the maximum favorable excursion. Oh, everything starts at 0, by the way. Your trade always starts at 0. So it starts at 0. It goes all the way up. Doesn't take profit. And I have to assume profit trigger or target is going to be right there somewhere. I'm not sure. But in any event, again, it's based on ATR. So different days, different times is going to be different. But look at this. It goes right there, and then it comes all the way back down, or maybe it went all the way down first, and then it went up, and then it came back down. But anyway, the ETD is from the maximum point till your close, right here. So that's what I want to turn into golf. I want little tiny, I don't even want to see a bar, to be honest with you. Right here, hit target. Hit target, and the trade stops, and you've maxed it out. I mean, okay, fine. I'll give back this one here. I'll give a little bit wick back just to, I hear these little wicks here. This is all based on gross, but needless to say, if it comes back a few ticks, I'm fine with that. But this is just, that's beyond me. I think I would personally, once I get enough data, I would do an ATM strategy that once it gets up to X ticks, then it just trails automatically, and that's just trade management. And we go back to the rules there. I forget which one we're looking at here. Gold. whichever chart, I don't know which chart it is, but needless to say, you could see that it's there's the settings on it. And the settings are fine, but it's the trade management, and I think that I'm going to tweak that a little bit if I saw a lot of that. Now it's just one. The other ones before that went way up, so why wouldn't that one? That you could look at. These little oranges, I'm fine with little oranges. These are all winners. Again, from the time you get in, the maximum favorite, and then you're out. So more than likely when you got on this trade, it went against you, typical, and then it went with you, came all the way down to there, and then it backtracked and popped you out at whatever automatic trade that was. And oh, here, look at this one. So it's a short too. You can tell it's as short. So it went up, typical, and then it came all the way back down, and then all the way back to break even and popped you out, which basically was a waste of a trade. So again, it's all about trade management here. The bots in this case, since we're evaluating bots, the bots are working. I mean, it's just trade management that needs to be tweaked a little bit, and I'm not sure whether that be your settings here, like your ATR is fine, but you're like in this particular case, whatever I landed on NG, it's your triggers or your targets are 1, 1, 1, and 2. Well, maybe we have to kind of bring that down to 0.75, like ES has 0.75 and 2 or something like that. Or I'm in the mindset of don't tell it where your target's going to be. Let it tell you where your target's going to be. And a lot of times in my trading, my stop is my target. So I'll just trail it. Now, as I get to a certain areas, I'll trail it tight. And as soon as it comes against me, boom, I'm out. And there's my target. Versus having a target, because I can't tell you how many times I've had a target and it just keeps blowing right through it. And now I'm out and I can't get back in again. So who the heck are you to say what your target's going to be? So that's my theory. But right now I'm going, I'm still relatively new at these. It's been what, 2.5 months, 2.5 months with these bots. And so I'm just using these settings because, who am I? But I will tweak some management things, I think, as I start zooming down. Anyway, back into that. So, and then obviously the day, that was the one average day. So let's MNQ. We could break that down. So basically, this is. I mean, I don't have to do this each time, but you can see right here. Let's get something. This is yesterday and Q. Calculate here. A lot of them. Yeah, look at this. I mean, those are the kind of things that I mean, the little oranges I have no problem with. See, that's another one. That is a lot. If I broke that down and looked into it, I'd say it's probably like the 15-minute chart. I just have such a problem with that spread. It's not so much the bank account, it's my stomach. Well, it is the bank account. I guess that is my stomach. That's a representative of my bank account. So it's hard to deal with. That one's nice. Anyway, a lot of oranges I'm not really too keen on. RTY, I'll just do it right, and then I'll just do the last one. Okay, so there's RTY. A lot of orange, and I can see that's why Bob doesn't like that one. Or maybe it's just that settings. I don't know what is. I think I only have one RTX chart up, wherever it is. Right here. It's only a 15 range, and it's got the 5, 10 filter, 821, ETR 5, 1, and 2. So, I mean, obviously, those settings need to be tweaked. And there certainly is enough data in here. And you can see, this is just yesterday. And if I pulled up month, which we can go to, there's going to be a lot more. So, I mean, there's not like you can't say there's not enough data. So, I'm not buying that one. But anyway, this is just... I think you got an idea of, and then here's silver. Silver's kind of new to me too. I've never traded silver, but it's on the sim only because Bob does. If you need more information on who Bob is or what I'm talking about with bots and algorithms and whatnot, this is the new generation. So give me a call and I'll give you some information on it. and who he is and how to get a hold of him if you want to do them. But regardless of what bots you're using, you have to do this. And if you think you're just going to get a bot and just you finally get your settings and then you say, okay, that's it. So now I'm going to go and do whatever I'm going to do. This is an ongoing thing. Markets change as soon as the presidential election hits the news. Then there's going to be volatility again, or if whatever happens with the whole election or any kind of future things we have going on in current events, with overseas or anywhere, China, who knows? I mean, look at the news. I mean, it's crazy. So this is a constant thing. So I actually think I'll be probably getting another computer. I'll get a second data feed, or actually a third data feed because I already have two. But I'll get a third data feed in here on another computer, and I'll just set up a couple screens or a big ass Walmart. I got two wall mount 50 inchers. I'll just do another 50 incher and put 20 trades on that and just pull stats. Just let it run 24/7, and just leave the stats on. Or the settings, tweak the settings for whatever I want. Let it run for a month. Get some analysis done on it, and then tweak them until I find another market. And who knows? Maybe lean hog is going to be the gold thing. But again, you got to constantly check it because things change. So this is an ongoing job. So instead of sitting in there trading and saying when to get in and when to get out, you certainly have your discretionary trades, and you can pull and do an autopsy of your discretionary trades. But my theory is to make some serious money, you need to have the robot to do it on the side, and just let the bot do it. But your job as the manager / owner, you need to monitor these, and that's why I'll probably put the discipline manager on there in case some get out of the way. I'll throw that on there and let it dynamically run up. And that's a different, if you want information on a discipline manager, again, you can go to the web page and look up indicators and discipline manager on that, but let it monitor it. Anyway, so that's the RTY. Let's get out of here and let me show you now. So that was yesterday, and we're finalizing here, but I will do a little bit more. So let's bring this yesterday data into November. So that way we can have a clean day sheet for today, which is the 17th, which is about ready to start here in a minute. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to say move my month. It knows what month it is because it pulls up the date here, and it's going to put it in the proper month. And bada boom, bada bang, and now it's done. And so now I have a clean day sheet for today. So now let's go to November. There's that date that we just pulled in. Let's go to the top. So here's all November. And again, I'm going to do the filters. I'm going to do the filters. And I'm going to get rid of paper. I'm just going to go to data for the bots because I want all bots. These should all be bots. Here, let's get the undocumented ones. Okay, so now we're dealing strictly with bots. We're going to be strictly dealing with the AF column over here on the far right. Now, into total, it's negative 7,000, but we need to break that down. So let's start with the first one, and let's start with 6E. Now this is 15 days. Today's the 17th. Oh, this is actually 16. This goes from November 1st to the 16th. Okay, so where are we at? 6E. Now again, this is all time. You need to break this out for each one. Maybe I'll do that now. No, I can't. I got to do it each one. I can't do a range of time. I have to pull a particular time in. So let's spend the time doing this, but I guess that's what we got to do. So I'll do it. I'm going to turn these early ones on only because this is 6E, and I want those early ones. Just hitting spacebar for the check and then down arrow. You know what? I'm even going to go to take those off. Okay. So this is morning. Oh, crap. I forgot the label. Serious? Gotta have a label. Okay. 3:54. Okay, so normal time frames. Okay. So this is what you need to do. Now, I've only got one. I take that back. I do have two. So let's see real quick. Let's separate those. Um, what is 00000? It's just not documented. Okay, that's a nothing.
Q.
That's the label. All right. So 16. Ooh, negative 500. What the heck is that? 16. 3 minute. 3 minute 6E. Okay. Where am I going? I want to go. Oh, November. Sorry. Okay. Well, good to know. So let's 17. 17's got to be good then. $938. 17 is 15 minute. Okay. Well,
3 minutes.
there you go. So, and again, you can break it down. So let's open that back up again. Let's go select all. Let's open that time frame up. Let's go to, let's open up all these. And then let's open up, let's just go to a market, and then we'll pick, what do we want? Let's do gold. You got to do these each individually, but for this video, I'm not going to do that. But anyway, let's just go to gold real quick. Oh, you know what? I'll do NASDAQ. I'll do NASDAQ. So here's gold real quick, negative 215. But again, you got to look to see, you know, there's different, I have 3 different charts on here. So,
short micro NASDAQ.
You know, let's leave all times on. But I do think we can rule that out. So it's real quick. Let's just knock out. Let's do 005. 27. Oh, that's a nothing. What is that anyway, by the way? 377 tick chart. November. 14. What is 14? 14 is 3 minute. Huh. And then 15. 15 out. 15's nice. Yeah, so Bob does like his. Bob's been around a while. He's invented these, so he knows his stuff a little bit more. But yeah, see, it does like the 15 minute, and you know, obviously, so do I. So anyway, getting back to that, let's. But again, those, I still think if we did an autopsy on those, I still think we could kind of probably, you know, filter that down a little bit with whether trade management or something else. Anyway, let's go to NASDAQ, and I'm going to call it on this video. And let's see what we're doing. But here, all right, $8,000. You cannot look at that. So let's first and foremost, let's leave the time out. Let's first and foremost, let's see what on a larger scale. Let's see what we're dealing with here. All right, negative 15.03 is 3 minute NASDAQ, and that's settings. 4 is 1900. 4 is the 3 minute difference. That's the high probability. So I don't know. It doesn't seem to be doing very high. But you know what? Let's break down to that. Here, hold on. Let's look at these. Yeah, look at this here. So let's get rid of 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and maybe even 3 o'clock in the morning. Or let's leave normal market hours open. Let's see. Oh, that didn't really change much, did it? I don't know what the heck's going on. It is what it is. And those are the trades. But, yeah. Okay. Moving forward. So, where am I at? There's that all times. 4,
long euro
6.
3 minutes.
6.
And Q.
What the heck is 6? Oh, did I already do that one? Hold on. 9. NQ 9. 5. Well, this one's not that. So what NASDAQ? It's 9. 20 range. Oh, I know that one's bad. Okay. Yeah, NASDAQ seems kind of squirrely. Again, I have to dive into this a little bit more. I don't know why that, I don't think. That is not looking good. Why does NASDAQ not look good? Let's get rid of some times here.
Long micro NASDAQ.
Let's get rid of all the riffraff. All this stuff. I guess it's faster to do this. All right, so we want normal. We want that one. And then we're going to be cutting off at no, taking it off. Yeah, you can see that just in the middle of the night, I think this just goes crazy. And I don't think, let's see normal business hours. Let's see what that does. $1,000. That's a little better, but let's break that down even more. So let's get rid of one at a time. I'll just do this quickly because I'm done with the video. Okay, so -5. 24 again. What the heck is 4? High probability. What is going on with the high probability? It's not very high. I had to look in those settings because something's not right there. 6. $2,000. What the heck is 6? I definitely got to look into this. 15 minute. What is going on? And last but not least, 9. Oh, I like this one. All right, now finally we got something good. All right, what is 9? 9. 9 is the 20 range. I'll be a darn. The chart that I was going to get rid of because I just keep seeing it go crazy. So what we could do is we could take that now and bring it into our chart analysis, pull it in here and, do our chart on it. Or we could even dive into this a little bit more and see if anything sticks out like a sore thumb. But actually, maybe this 20 range isn't so bad after all. Looking at the numbers. But I'm telling you, I have to look at October. You know what? October dot NASDAQ. Label NASDAQ. And number 9. This is 9. See, here's October. Same thing. Oh, here, let's get rid of the time. Get rid of the riffraff. I didn't even have them on in October. You're right, because I was only doing it during normal business days. This is why I didn't like that chart. There is no evening hours. This is just regular market hours. And that's why I wanted to get rid of that chart, because look in October, -2. And look at all these trades it's taken. But in November, so the never-ending fight continues. And then I don't know how the best way to monitor that is. One day is good. So that's where the discipline manager comes in. If you do it. If it's on a roll that day, you just let it wind up and you follow it with a dynamic drawdown. But on the other hand, if it's not doing well that day, just cut it off. And the question is how much do you give it before you turn it off and say, I'm not giving it anymore? I don't know, maybe $1,000. I did that one time. I put a combined, through one of the, hedge fund people that, fund trades. I put a combined on an ES trade, and they only give you $1,000 drawdown, for the day, which is, I don't even know why they call it $50,000 account, because it's not a $50,000 account. And in any event, so they give you a $1,000 drawdown for the day. I put on a brand new account. I put it on the ES, 2 contracts. It goes against me, and finally at $950, I had to close it because I didn't want to get kicked out of my combat. So one day, one trade, one combat, boom, and wiped it out. So it's like, how much do you put on it? Do you want to give it $500, $800 a day? And if it hits that, then just call it for the day and be done with it and let it go. And on the other hand, if you have a good day and it winds up, it'll just keep going and it'll trail. So I totally convinced with using the discipline manager on each one of these counts. And as you can see, actually, I did do some of that with some of them. but I took it off only because I want the full range. So anyway, this is my work in progress. Hopefully that not too much for you for this video. If you're still here, you're into this kind of stuff, and if you're not, then if you're already gone, then you're not hearing this. Let's get out of here. Okay. All right. Well, there it is. So we talked about how to pull data from Ninja 7 and 8, and if there's any other CR charts or any other kind of charts, I just need to know data. Right now, I don't have this available to send out to anybody, only because of the fact that there's so much code in here, and one wrong click could just wipe it out. So I'm in the process of doing all kinds of protections on it. So, you know, basically protecting yourself from you, so you can't delete crap. And we'll see where that goes. But what I would like to do is be able to pull in data from multiple people and get different settings. Of course, you have to know your settings. I have to get different settings and let multiple people, and that's where that stat squad came into fruition. If you go to the web page, I'll just do this. If you go to my web page and you pull up Stat Squad, I'm going to put the link to this journal on there anyway. But needless to say, I'd like to pull in data from multiple people. So if you have any data you want to send me, I'm more than willing to take it and evaluate it, and we could do a Zoom online and do it together or something. But I can't let this out in the open just yet because it's too dangerous and things get wiped out. And I'll be getting blitzed with phone calls, and I did this, I did that, and then I'll turn into a technical support guru, and that's just not going to happen. So needless to say, so we did talk about how to pull the data from 7 and 8. We talked about the review of some. We only touched on some of the components of the spreadsheet. Showed you how to upload it into the sheet. We did an autopsy of a trade using the trade candlestick. And then we did an analysis, a quick analysis of November through November 16th. So actually, I was really impressed with, what was it, early October. Not too impressed with November, but if you got to remember, in all fairness, we got a lot of volatility in what happened in November. We had presidential elections, and they were not unique. So a lot of volatility and craziness in there. And as I said, I just let these things run, and you know, even throughout the night and whatever. And full stops, full targets, whatever it is, that's what they were. They're all on sim, but it's live data, none of this historical junk. So it's true live data that's just sitting there and taking time day after day after day pulling in the data. But now we have a tool that we could actually evaluate it and go from there. So if you're interested in sharing some data, and I frankly don't care about the account, you know, we could change it to sim or whatever. I don't really care about the account per se. I'm more interested on the data of the particular trade, and of course the settings. Without the settings, it's useless. And if you're changing your settings every other day because you don't like the results, that's not. You just saw that in the course of November and October, you had totally different spectrums. So if you're not familiar with Mark Douglas and, you know, his trading philosophy as far as the data sets, you have to have a data set. You can't just look at, you know, 4 trades and say, oh, this is great, I'm going to trade this and leave. It doesn't work like that. It's an ongoing process. But in any event, if you're into that and you want to send me some stuff, you know, get in contact with me. Skype is the best because I'm at my desk when I see it. If you Skype me or email me, then I get that later, and I get it, but it's like I get it a little later. Anyway, I don't care how you contact me, but that's how you export your data. And if you want to play around with it, I like to have fun. So I'm retired. I got nothing else to do, so I'm good to go. Alrighty, I think I'm going to call it for this video. All right, have a good day. Bye.